Hey guys, second assignment for this week. It's going to be taking that ball bounce assignment that you guys did a few weeks back and then editing that with the graph editor to look a little bit better. So this is the one that I had, the reference example one. Luckily I saved it and this is how it looks. Relatively decent, but I'm going to show you guys how to make it look that much more realistic. So we can open up the graph editor, and how to get there again is Windows, Animation Editors, Graph Editor, and that's right here. Then we can click on this guy, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Looks more complicated than the original one or the first assignment, but the only one that we're going to be affecting is Translate Y. I mean, you can affect other ones if you want just to play around with it, but the only one I'm going to grade you on is just the Translate Y. So as you can see, this is the curve that it goes along. Yeah, okay. So this isn't exactly how we want the curve to look. It's close, but not exactly. So translate Y. I'm going to want to delete these keyframes that I made. And if you want to select a keyframe, you can just click and drag a little box over it. Whatever's in that box, it'll select. Same thing with this guy and this guy. So these keys, you want to change all these to weighted tangents. So if you click a box, drag them all, you can do curves, weighted tangents, and then you can take this guy, and the ones at the top you want to make a little bit wider. So just like last video, you would hold down shift and then you would click and drag to the right to make it a little bit more wide. And then you would do that for all these guys, a little bit more wide. So it's just more rounded at the top. A little bit more wide. A little bit more wide. And then for this guy, let's see. So yeah, let's do that. So you do tangents for all these ones on the bottom. Okay, let's do tangents, break tangents. And what that'll allow you to do is grab each side individually without affecting the other side. So at the bottom of these, you want there to be a very quick point of impact. So you kind of want the lines to look like that. You want it to be relatively straight. And you can kind of do that with all these guys. And you can move and you can zoom in. It gets harder to grab them. Like that. A little bit maybe. So let's see what that does and if we have to change anything else. So yeah, a lot springier than it was before. Hits the ground a lot harder and a lot more spring in the step of the ball. I feel like it's kind of stopping a little bit in the air. Let's see. What is this? Rotate X. Wouldn't be rotated, it'd be translate maybe. So this is translate Z, right? Okay, maybe that's got something to do with it. Let's see what happens if we just delete all these in the middle here. And then, actually, let's bring that back. Yeah, so this, let's change this so it's not as, okay, let's see. A little bit too much there. ease, a little less ease. See how that looks. That looks good. Maybe a little bit too big of a jump on the second one. So let's see. Nice. So essentially what I did was took the translate Z. If you wanted to make it straight, that would have made the speed of the ball constant throughout the entire animation, but that's not exactly what you want. What you want is you kind of want this to be a straight line in the beginning because that's where it's starting out as, and then slowly kind of ease into the stop over time. But you don't want it to be too heavy because then it would be too drastic of a change. But if you have this sort of straight and then slight ease to it, that would be a really good way to make it look, because then it kind of changes the distance as the bounces get smaller. It looks pretty decent like that. Okay, cool. So yeah, change the translate Y. That was the only one that I really wanted you guys to take notice on. If you want to change the translate Z as well to make it look even better, play around with that. Any of the other features, rotate, you can look at as well, but mainly just translate Y, and that should be it for this assignment. Go ahead and play blast out another version of this and send that to me as well as your Maya file, and then take a screenshot of your graph editor in the translate Y window so that I can see that you affected that as well. So yeah, just those three things, and that'll be it for the second assignment for the week.